The idea for Nico to play drums with a military band was something we first discussed over 10 years ago. And we've had subsequent discussions, but the right opportunity never really presented itself. Until in 2019, when British Drum Company won the contract to manufacture and supply drums to the Royal Marines, we started to attend the Royal Marines Mountbatten Festival of Music every year. And at the festival in 2022, the Marines opened the second half of the show with a compilation piece playing the music of the band Prodigy. And that was the moment really where Keith, Stu and I really, it was the light came on collectively at the same time. And in the hotel bar after the show, we all asked the question, you know, and came to the conclusion that if the Marines can play Prodigy, they could certainly play Iron Maiden. So we formed the idea then of maybe Nico could play with the Marines at the Mountbatten Festival of Music. So Stu Warmington, our International Sales Director for Marching, and himself a former serving member of the Royal Marines, was charged with speaking to his former colleagues to see whether or not we could make this happen. And that's essentially where this adventure started.
So after watching the Prodigy medley at the Mountbatten Festival of Music 2022, we then realised that having Nico McBrain on stage with the band service was definitely a possibility. I was tasked with approaching my former employer to see if we could get the wheels into motion. I sent a couple of texts, we had a couple of phone calls, and before we know it, we got the green light, all systems go.
In preparation for the performances you've seen, we find ourselves here at the Sanctum Hotel in London. My name is Warrant Officer Class 1, Phil Hawkins. I am the Corps Bugle Major with the Royal Marines Band Service. And my responsibility at the Mountbatten Festival of Music is the overall performance by the Corps drums, both in the opening sequence, the Iron Maiden feature, and later on the finale as well. So downstairs, we've got a small number of our Corps drums with Nico on a much smaller kit, because there's not much space big enough to hold that one, just to go through a few ideas.
So after getting the green light, we then decided what kit should Nico use. Is it going to be Senjutsu kit, or do we do something special? We decided to do something special because it is a special occasion. You know, the Royal Marines are in the 360th year anniversary, and it's a free performance only, so we decided let's do something extremely special. So what we've done is we've replicated Eddie on a different uniform with the Royal Marines from 1664, the birth of the Royal Marines, right the way through to the present day, and that's replicated over each of the drums.
Having Eddie in these different iconic uniforms, and especially being able to use the 2023 one, that is just such an honour for me personally. I think that's brilliant. The way he's painted the clouds and the mountains and the you know, the commemorative statues and stuff, it's just immense. It really is. I you know, if I had that one, I'd be taking it off to him. He's just done an absolutely wicked job. They're all magic.
As we decided this was going to be an extra special kit and a one-off, this is where our founding director, Keith Keogh, comes in to make sure all the attention to detail is covered in all of our drums and Nico gets the best drum kit possible.
When I first saw the pictures of Eddie in all the Marines uniforms throughout the ages, I thought, wow, Stu and the artist has really pulled a rabbit out of the hat. And it's our job to then make a drum kit worthy of this artwork. At British Drum Corps, we like to say we start with the finish. Our drum wraps are not applied in the usual way that other companies do it. As we cold press our shells, the wrap actually goes into the mould and is formed as part of the shell. Our craftsmen carefully and meticulously hand cut the wraps and all the veneers using nothing but a knife. This gives a much cleaner join rather than using a saw. The shells we are casting for this kit are Nico's signature Icarus ones, but with a small twist. Instead of the red reinforcing rings, we decided to use natural oak, as this was more subtle and suited the exterior more. They're marked out and drilled by hand with 45-degree bearing edges on all shells. The inside is then lacquered to a 30% sheen before being struck with our iconic palladium hardware. The seam of the wrap is then finished with our unique Exotone strips before being fitted with Nico's signature boomer heads. The kit is then complemented by our casino hardware and Nico's long-standing cymbal company, Paiste Cymbals. Seeing this kit come to life brings great pride for all of us at BDC, and it's certainly one of the best and more interesting drum kits our team has had the pleasure of making.